The wind carried the scent of rain and cedar through the mountain valley as he climbed the final ridge. The world below him was silent except for the low hum of thunder rolling beyond the clouds. For days, Cale had been wandering this forgotten range, guided by a map older than memory and a whisper he could never explain. Each night he dreamed of the same woman, her eyes the color of stormlight, her voice calling his name long before he'd ever heard it in waking life. He had tried to shake the feeling, but it clung to him like destiny itself. When he reached the plateau, he saw the ruins, tall stones curved in a perfect circle, carved with runes that pulsed faintly as if alive. In the center stood a figure draped in white. Her dark hair flowed like ink in the wind, and her gaze met his with a certainty that struck deeper than fear. "You came," she whispered, as though she had been waiting for centuries. Cale froze. Every instinct told him to turn back, yet something inside him, the same pull that had driven him across half the wilderness, made him step closer. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice trembling. The woman tilted her head slightly, studying him not like a stranger but like someone remembering. "You are the man I saw in my dreams," she said. "According to the sacred law, you are my husband now." The words hit him like a blade and a blessing at once. He stared at her, searching for a trick, for madness, for any logic to anchor himself. But when she raised her hand, the runes in the stones glowed brighter, forming a pattern that mirrored a mark on his forearm, one he had been born with but never understood. "This can't be real," he muttered. The woman smiled sadly. "Real or not, the bond has already been sealed." He felt a pulse, a warmth spreading through the air, drawing him closer to her. The storm above cracked open, lightning illuminating the ruins, and for an instant, he saw figures in the shadows, ancient silhouettes watching, silent witnesses to something sacred. The woman took a step forward, and the ground beneath them trembled. "My name is Elra," she said softly. "And our fates have crossed before, in another age, under another sun." Cale's breath caught. Memories that weren't his flashed before his eyes, fire, temples, vows spoken in another tongue. He staggered back, clutching his head. "What's happening to me?" he gasped. Elra's voice came through the chaos like a thread of light. "The law does not choose wrongly. You were reborn to return here, to finish what was begun." He wanted to run. Every part of him screamed to escape this haunting truth. But when he looked at her again, he saw no deception, only sorrow and hope, ancient and pure. "If this is fate," he whispered, "then why does it feel like a curse?" Elra turned toward the horizon, where the storm was breaking. "Because destiny always asks for something in return," she said. "And before the dawn, you will have to decide whether to accept what binds us, or destroy it forever." The thunder roared once more, and Cale felt the first drops of rain hit his skin, warm, heavy, almost alive. The circle of stones glowed faintly behind her, like the eyes of sleeping gods. Somewhere in the distance, a bell rang, a sound not meant for human ears, and Cale realized his journey had only just begun. Night fell like a curtain of shadow, and the ruins came alive under the silver breath of the moon. Cale sat beside the circle of stones, watching Elra as she traced ancient symbols in the dirt with her bare hands. The markings pulsed faintly, echoing the same rhythm he felt under his skin. He tried to fight the pull inside him, the strange warmth, the sense that something beyond human reason bound them together, but each heartbeat only drew him deeper into her orbit. Elra lifted her head, eyes glinting with moonlight. "The law was written before the first flame," she said quietly. "It binds souls that were torn apart, bringing them back when the world is ready for their task." Cale frowned. "And what task is that?" She hesitated, her voice lowering into something almost like prayer. "To keep the balance. To stop what is coming." A chill ran through him. "You talk like there's a war." "There is," she said. "Between what remembers and what forgets." Cale stared at her, not understanding, but the more she spoke, the more fragments of another life flickered in his mind. A temple swallowed by fire, a sky torn in two, and Elra standing where no one should have survived. The memories came with pain, searing, ancient pain. He gritted his teeth, feeling the mark on his arm burn as though it had been branded anew. "If I've lived before," he said slowly, "then tell me how it ended." Her eyes softened. "With your death," she whispered. "And my promise to find you again." The words froze him. He searched her face, but there was no deceit, only truth layered in sorrow. The storm had passed, but the air still trembled as if remembering thunder. "Why me?" he asked. "Why not someone else?" "Because only you carry the mark of the keeper," she said. "Only you can open what was sealed." Elra reached into a small satchel and pulled out a shard of crystal. It shimmered faintly, humming when it touched the air. This is what remains of the Heartstone. It was broken when you fell. The other half still sleeps, beneath the Temple of Echoes. And you expect me to help you find it? I expect you to remember who you are, she replied. Cale wanted to laugh, to call it madness, but something deeper than reason told him she was right. He could feel the hum of the stone matching the beat of his heart. And if I refuse? Elra's voice turned heavy. Then the veil between worlds will break again. The old darkness will rise, and every life you once swore to protect will vanish. Silence stretched between them. The wind shifted, carrying the sound of distant flutes, faint, haunting. Elra's expression changed, her head turned sharply. They're here, she murmured. Who? The Watchers. Before he could ask, shapes emerged from the treeline, tall figures cloaked in silver, faces hidden, movements smooth and otherworldly. They surrounded the ruins, speaking in a language Cale's mind almost recognized. One of them stepped forward, raising a staff that glowed faint blue. The bond is forbidden, the figure intoned. He should not be here. Elra rose to her full height, her calm replaced by defiance. He was chosen by the law, she said. The law is broken, came the reply. The keeper died long ago. Cale's chest tightened as energy rippled through the air. The circle of stones flared with light, forming a barrier around him and Elra. Sparks crackled at the edges. What do they want? He shouted. You, she said, eyes locked on the Watchers. They fear the law will awaken through you. The ground shuddered. Lightning split the sky again, and Cale felt the power surge through him like a heartbeat of the earth itself. The Watchers recoiled, their silver cloaks twisting in the wind. Elra reached out, gripping his arm. You see now, you are the bridge. They cannot touch you unless you yield. He met her gaze, fear and wonder colliding inside him. Then what do I do? Trust the bond, she whispered. Trust me. The circle flared, blinding light bursting outward. When the brightness faded, the Watchers were gone, scattered like mist. Cale fell to his knees, gasping for air. The mark on his arm was glowing faintly, pulsing in time with his heartbeat. Elra knelt beside him, her voice trembling for the first time. They know you've awakened, she said. There's no turning back now. Cale looked up at the stars above, strange constellations he didn't remember, burning brighter than before. He felt both lost and found all at once. Then tell me what comes next, he said. Elra's eyes reflected both fear and faith. At dawn, she whispered, we go to the Temple of Echoes. And there, you will face the truth of who you were, and decide who you are meant to become.